Hello everyone, welcome to my channel Financial Markets by CS Sandeep Agarwal. So this is video number 1 under options intermediate part 2. We have already covered 4 videos under options basics and 4 videos under options intermediate part 1. We will have another 4 videos under options intermediate part 2, and then we will have another 4 videos under the advanced options, which will conclude this entire option series comprising of 16 videos. Hope you people have been liking my videos till date. So in case you are liking, please do like and subscribe to my channel so that you can get notifications to any future videos which would be uploaded. And also I would request, in case my videos are adding values to you, so you can share these videos among your friends and family so that they can also benefit from my videos. So let's start. So in this video, we will cover that how the pricing of an option is determined. So till now, we have learned about call options, put options, in the money call options, at the money call options, out of money call options, and we have also learned about the various strategies which are applied in the market, covering your hedging scenarios, your partial hedging and generating of income, as well as your speculation of the options. Now, in this video, we will try to understand that how the price of an option is determined. So like say for an example, if the Nifty is trading currently at 16,600, and if somebody is buying a call option of 16,600 strike or buying a put option of 16,600 strike, then the price of that option, say for an example, it is trading at 500 rupees, then what are the components of those 500 rupees option prices and how the price of an option moves along with the movement in those parameters by which the price of an option is determined. So if you see the current screen, so you can see these are the 5 parameters through which the price of an option is determined, and these 5 parameters are called as option Greeks. So just remember this terminology, option Greeks, and this 5 option Greeks. One is delta, another is gamma, third is vega, fourth is theta, and fifth is rho. So these 5 terms are called as option Greeks, and the price of an option are determined with the help of this option Greeks. So what are option Greeks? So option Greeks basically measures the change in the price of an option when these parameters change. So whenever there is a change in any of those 5 parameters, either delta, gamma, vega, theta, or rho, then the price of an option also changes accordingly. And how this option Greeks are determined? These option Greeks are determined with the help of a model known as Black-Scholes model. So it's a very complex model. It has got a lot of formulas into it. So if so, it is not necessary to go into the in-depth of this Black-Scholes model. I will try to explain to you people the price of an options and the impact on the same with respect to the change in the various option Greeks and how these are determined with the help of an example. In case somebody wants to go into the detail of the Black-Scholes model, you can definitely go and Google it. You will get a lot of data on the Black-Scholes model, but this is a bit technical. So I would not recommend to go into the deep of the Black-Scholes model. We will cover this Black-Scholes model and the option Greeks in this video itself with the help of a practical example, which will give you a detailed insight on how the option prices are calculated. So basically, this option Greeks are derived from the Black-Scholes model only, and they are basically an approximate values. So in the live market, if somebody wants to ascertain that whether I can see that whether the price of an option is changing according to the change in the option Greeks or not, so you will not get the exact values because these are only the approximate values. It will give you a fair and rough idea that how the option price is going to change on account of the change in the various option Greeks. So we will explain the first option Greek, which is known as delta. So delta is like to give you an example, like say, and the current underlying instrument, the example of which we will take in this video is Nifty. Now say Nifty currently is trading at 16,600. What is delta? So in case we have bought an ATM call option of 16,600 of the Nifty underlying instrument, and the delta of that ATM call option is say 0.5. So in case the underlying instrument moves from 16,600 to 16,601, which is a movement of rupee 1, then the price of an option will move by 0.5. So in this case, the delta of the option was 0.5. So similarly, in case the Nifty moves from 16,600 to 16,599, that it has been decreased by rupee 1, then the price of a call option will go down by 0.5. We will cover this with the help of a practical example as well. So this is just the theoretical thing. Just in case somebody wants to see that what is the theoretical concept of this option grid, so that's why I have covered this as well in this video. So the delta of the call option ranges from 0 to +1, and the delta of a put option ranges from 0 to -1. Now somebody may ask why the delta of the call option is positive and the delta of the put option is negative. Because the person who has bought a call option, he will basically make money in case the underlying instrument, which is Nifty in this case, starts moving in the upward direction. Whereas in the case of the put option, the person who has bought a put option will make money only in case the underlying instrument, which is Nifty in this case, will start moving in the downward direction. So basically, this delta is basically determined considering the movement of the instrument in one direction only. So in case the Nifty starts moving in the upward direction, then the person who has bought a call option, he will gain. So that's why the delta of the call option is always positive, and it ranges from 0 to +1. Whereas the person who has bought a put option of an underlying instrument Nifty, in the current case, then in case the Nifty starts moving in the upward direction, then the person will basically lose, he will not gain. So that's why the delta of the put option is always negative, and it ranges from 0 to -1. Now say the somebody has bought a call option and the delta of the same is 0.3, and somebody has bought a put option and the delta of the same put option is 0.4. Now if the underlying instrument moves by 1 in the upward direction, then the price of the option will increase by 0.3, whereas the price of the put option will move down by 0.4. Similarly, if we take the reverse direction, that in case the underlying instrument moves by 1 in the downward direction, then the call option price will decrease by 0.3, whereas the put option price will increase by 0.4. So whenever somebody is buying an ATM call option or an ATM put option, the delta is always close to 0.5. So in the case of the call option, the delta is positive 0.5, whereas in the case of the put option, the delta is negative 0.5. Whereas the OTM call option have a delta close to 0, and in the money call option, which is termed as ITM, have a delta close to 1. Similarly, in the case of the OTM put option, the delta is again close to 0, and in the money put option have a delta close to 1. So we can also interpret the delta value as the probability of the option expiring in the money. Now, if somebody has bought an ATM call option, which is a delta of 0.5, or somebody has bought a ATM put option, which is a delta of negative 0.5, it means that this option has a probability of 50% expiring in the money at the expiry of the underlying instrument. Similarly, if somebody has bought an in the money call option or an in the money put option, which has a delta say 0.7, then it means that those options, whether call or put option, have a probability of 70% of expiring in the money. Now, what is gamma? So gamma is the second Greek after the delta. So the delta measures how the price of an option will move according to the change in the underlying instrument, whereas the gamma measures how the delta. So delta is the first Greek. So how the delta of an option changes when the underlying instrument price change. So whenever the underlying instrument price is changing by 1, and if the delta of that call option for that underlying instrument is 0.5, so the price of the option will move by 0.5. Now say the gamma of that particular call or put option is say 0.05. Now in case when the underlying instrument is moving by 1, the price of the option is moving by 0.5, which is the delta. Now the delta of an option will also move by 0.05. So it will become 0.5 to 0.55, which is 0.5 plus 0.05. So it may sound bit theoretical to you people till now, but when we go to an example where we will see and understand this option breaks with the help of an example, so it will give you much clarity. So these are just the theoretical concept in order to create the base for the option breaks. Now, gamma is always a positive for the options bought, whereas it is negative for the sold options. Whenever the underlying instrument price goes up, the call options delta moves from 0 to 1 and the put options delta moves from -1 to 0. Why? Like as I've explained, so the delta, the gamma of all the options are determined considering the movement of the underlying instrument in the one direction. Now, if the delta of the call option is 0.5 and if the underlying instrument keeps on moving in the upward direction, so the delta of the call option will also starts increasing in the upward direction and it can go up to maximum 1. This is the maximum value which the call option delta can be. Similarly, in case the underlying instrument starts moving in the upward direction, then the put option delta will start going in the downward direction because the buyer of a put option will lose value. So in case the buyer of a particular put option is having a delta of 0.5 and the underlying instrument starts moving in the downward direction, then the delta of that put option will also start going in the downward direction. So if the delta of that particular put option is 0.5 and the gamma is say 0.05, so with the every movement, the delta of that particular call option will start going in the downward direction that it will becomes less than 0.5. So gamma is always higher for at the money options and it fails and it falls as the option goes further in the money or out of the money. Vega basically stands for volatility. So Vega measures that how the value of an option or the price of an option changes whenever the underlying instrument's volatility changes. So Vega is again a positive for bought options and it is negative for sold options. And whenever the volatility increases, the price of both the call and the put option will increase. Whereas in case the volatility goes downwards, then the price of the call and put option will go down. So this is the fourth brick, which is theta. So theta basically measures that how the price of an option changes as the time passes on. So as soon as we move closer to the expiry of that particular contract, then the price of an option will start losing value at a very faster pace because the price of an option also has got a component which is known as the theta, which is basically the time value of the money. And whenever the time to the expiry of the contract starts reducing, the theta also shows its impact on the option price and the option price starts moving in the downward direction. So theta will always be negative, whether it is for call option or put option, because the options prices will lose value over time, assuming that the other option Greeks remains a constant. So whatever we have explained till now about the various option Greeks, it has been discussed considering the movement in that particular option Greek only, assuming the other option Greeks are constant. So if all the Greeks start moving all together, then the price of an option may behave differently. So like as I explained earlier, theta is largest for those options that are close to expiry. The fifth option Greeks, which is rho, is not significant and it is not used by the traders much. Uh, it is used basically only for those options which are basically long dated options. Long dated options means if somebody is sitting, say, currently in the month of March, and somebody is dealing in the options which are expiring, say, in the month of September and December, which is 6 to 9 months away from the current month, then only the row is considered to be helpful in determining the option prices. Otherwise, for the short dated options, which is basically the options which are expiring currently, like say we are sitting currently in the month of March 2022. So those options which are expiring in the month of March 22 or April 22 or May 22, which are just 1 or 2 months away from the current date, then the row is not considered to be significant in the option prices. So that's why I have not covered it over here. So basically, rho is determined uh, according to the change in the interest rate scenario. So whenever the interest rate starts moving in the upward direction, the price of the option will also move in the upward direction. And whenever the interest rates in the market start moving in the downward direction, the option prices will lose value, considering that the interest rates has moved downwards. Now, option Greeks, which I've explained, are basically approximations only. And like as I explained, the option Greeks are ascertained with the help of a model known as Black-Scholes model. And the Black-Scholes model are generally valid for the small changes only. For the large changes, they are not as useful. So if somebody wants to know the Greeks value, or if somebody wants to know the price of an options considering the change in the certain option Greeks, then the Black-Scholes model can be used for the approximation value only. But the real value in the market may be a bit different as compared to the value which is being determined from the Black-Scholes model. So when the options are very close to expiry, so then this option Greeks are not as useful, because then it starts moving as per the market sentiments and the market demand and supply. Like as I explained, all the Greeks are derived on the basis of the Black-Scholes model only, which is itself an approximation to the live market. So I will cover it with the help of an example as well. So let me just open this Excel sheet. So see, this example I have just taken in the Excel for the purpose of explaining various option Greeks. Now, I have taken an example assuming that the Nifty, which is the underlying instrument in our example, is say currently trading at 60,600, and somebody has bought a 16,600 strike price call and put option simultaneously. So 16,600 is basically an ATM call and put option. I have just assumed annual interest rate as 7%, annual dividend yield as 1.5%, annual volatility, which is Vega, is 25%, days to expiry, which is basically theta, is 30 days. So the call option price is 511 rupees and the put option price is 436 rupees. So it is basically determined with the help of the Black-Scholes model. You can see I have done the various calculations over here. We don't need to go into the details of this calculation. I will post the link of this Excel in this video, so that if somebody wants, they can download this Excel and they can also simulate in there at their own and see that how the price of the call and the put option changes according to the change in the price of the underlying instrument. So the price of the 16,600 call option is trading at 511 rupees, and the price of the put option of 16,600 strike price is trading at 436. And These are the delta, gamma, vega, theta, and rho. This call and put options. Now you can see that the call of the delta option is positive, as we have explained that the call of the delta option ranges from 0 to +1, whereas the delta of the put option ranges from 0 to -1. So you can see the delta of the put option is -0.46, whereas you can see the gamma is always positive for the long option, that is the option which has been bought. This is the vega. Theta, as I've explained, theta is always negative for both the call and the put option, because as the days to expiry nears to the current contract, so the value of the option starts losing its value, assuming that the other options are constant. So this is the row. Now let me just unhide and give you an example. So this I have just plotted. Now see, the price of the call option in the current scenario is 511. So you just see my cursor where I'm placing the mouse. So in this example, we will just explain the call option only. And once I have uploaded this Excel in the video link, you can download and you can run this exercise similarly for the put option as well. So we will do this in this video for the call option as well. So you can see when the underlying instrument, which is Nifty, is trading at 16,600, then the 16,600 strike price call option is trading at 511, and the delta is basically 0.53. Now say if the Nifty moves by 10 points in the upward direction, then what should be the price of the option in that case, assuming the other option Greeks, which is basically gamma, vega, theta, and rho, are constant. So you can see what I have done. I have basically taken the existing price of the call option, which was 511.2. The delta of this call option is 0.54. So the Nifty has moved by 10 points in the upward direction. So then what is the revised price of this option becomes 511.2 plus 0.53 into 10. So we can say it should become basically 560.61. So we also see we just change the value over here to 16,610. Now you can see the price of the call option becomes 516.63. This value basically I have taken it from over here and I have pasted it spatial over here, and it is 1 decimal over here, where it is 2 decimal over here. So you can see the manual calculated value of the option by change in the underlying instrument on account of delta, and the actual calculated value with the help of the Black-Scholes model is almost same. There is a bit of small error, which I told you that the option Greeks are determined from the Black-Scholes model, but these are basis and approximation value only, and the actual value may differ a bit. Now we again restore this value back to the original value. Now similarly, you see in case the Nifty, which is the underlying instrument in this case, moves by 10 points, then what would be the revised delta in this case? So it will be original delta plus the gamma multiplied by 10. Why 10? Because this gamma is for 1 unit of change in the Nifty instrument. So in the current example, we are speaking about 10 point change. So then what would be the delta? 0.5387 plus 0.3 into 10. So it becomes 0.542. So we can again see and change this current price of the Nifty to 16,610. So you can see the delta becomes 0.542. So I basically taken this value and I pasted it spatial over here. So you can see there is a small so there is hardly any error between the actual calculated value and the Black-Scholes derived value, because this is for the small change only. So I again restored this value back to 6,600. Now we come to the vega. Now vega is basically this annual volatility. So you can see the volatility is 25% in the current case, and the Vega value is 18.87. Now we just change this Vega from 25 to 26, and we will see that how the price of an option changes considering the other option Greeks, which is basically delta, gamma, theta, rho remains constant. So you can see the price of an option becomes 530. So how this 530 is becoming? The original price of the option plus the change in the price of an option on account of a change in a single percentage in the Vega. So you can see 530. So this is the manual calculation. Now this is the value derived from the Black-Scholes model. So you can see over here also the value is almost similar to the manual derived value and the value which is derived from the Black-Scholes model. Now we again restore this value back to the 25%. Now we come to the theta. Now the days to the expiry currently is 30, and the theta of this particular call option is minus 9.11. Now, in case we are moving ahead 1 days in the expiry to the contract, then the value of the option becomes 511.22 plus minus 9.11. Like as I explained earlier, that the theta is always negative for both the call and the put options, and the call option will lose value whenever we are moving closer to the expiry of the contract. So we again go and see that how the price of the option is getting calculated with the help of the Black-Scholes model. Now we change these days to expiry from 30 days to 29 days, and then we see how the price of an option will behave considering the other Greeks, which is delta, gamma, vega, and rho remains constant. You can see the price of the call option in this case becomes 502.04, which is again almost near to the manual calculated value. We again restore it back 30 days, and we see in case the interest rates moves by 1%, then what will happen to the price of the call option in this case, considering the other Greeks, which is delta, gamma, vega, theta remains constant, so it will become 511.2 plus 6.93, which is basically 5.185. So we will just see that how the value of an option becomes considering the change in the interest rate. So we change the interest rate from 7 to 8%, and we will see how the price of the call option behaves in the cell number E2. So you can see the price of the call option becomes 518.18, which is the value which has been pasted in the cell L7, and you can see the value which has been derived from the Black-Scholes model, and the manual calculation is almost same. So again, we restore it back to 7%. Now, these changes which I've explained in delta, gamma, vega, theta, and rho, and the impact of the same in these factors changes according to the price of an option. Now we will see these similar kind of changes whenever we are making large value changes in the underlying instrument by 100 points. Now say if the Nifty instrument starts moving in the upward direction by 100 points, then what would be the price of this option? It will become 511.22 plus 0.5387 multiplied by 100, because this delta is for movement in the Nifty by 1 point. So in the current case, we are considering the Nifty movement by 100 points. Then the price of this option becomes 511.2 plus 0.5387 into 100. So it becomes 565.1. Now we will go and change this current price of the instrument to 16,700. We will increase it by 100 points. So we will see the price of the option becomes 566.75, which I have plotted over here. So you can see that there is a bet error of 1.7 rupees. So the manual calculation shows that the price of this call option should become 565.1, assuming the Nifty has moved by 100 points in the upward direction, whereas with the help of the Black-Scholes model, we are getting a derived value of 566.75. So that's why I said that in case of the large movement, the price of an option considering the changes in the various option bills will give you an approximate value only, but it may not be exactly same as derived from the live market, but it can give you a fair idea that what should be the option price considering the movement in the various option bills. Now we again restore it back to the same value 16,600. Similarly, we can see that what should be the delta value considering the movement in the Nifty by 100 points in the upward direction. So it should be 0.5387 plus 0.3 times 0 into 100. So it becomes 0.57. So we see the same by changing the value over here. And you can see the delta value becomes 0.5718. So it is more or less same as compared to the actual derived value and the value as per the Black-Scholes model. We again restore it back to this value, and we can see we change the Vega, which is the annual volatility in this case, by 10%. So we move from 25% to 35%. But before that, we see that in case we are moving by 10%, then what would be the option price? It will become 511 plus the option price will change by 18.87 with the every 1% move in the volatility. So in the current case, we are assuming change in the volatility by 10%. So it will become 511.2 plus 18.87 into 10, which becomes 699.9. And if we change the annual volatility over here from 25 to 35%, then you can see how the price of the call option changes in the sale E2. So we can see it becomes 699.98, which is the value I have pasted over here. So again, we can see this value also gives you almost the same value between the derived value, annual derived value, and the value which has been derived from the Black-Scholes model. So we restored this value back to the original volatility of 25%. Similarly, for the theta also, we can see if we assume that we have moved 10 days ahead in the expiry, then what would be the option price? The option price will become 511 minus 9.11 into 10. So the revised price becomes 420. Now we see if we change the days to expiry from 30 days to 20 days, then how the price of the call option will move in save E2. You can say it becomes 412, which the value I listed over here. So you can see here the difference between the value is 8 rupees. So it is a bit significant, but it again gives you a fair idea that how the option prices will become in case we are moving 10 days ahead in the expiry, considering the other option grades, which is delta, gamma, vega, and rho remains constant. So we again move it to the original value 30 days. Now again, in case the interest rate moves by 3% from 7% to 10%, then what would be the option price? Considering the other option breaks are constant, it will become 511.2 plus 6.93 into 3. Because 6.93 is the option break for movement in the interest rate by 1%. So we have considered the movement in the interest rate by 3%. So the price of the option will become 511.2 plus 6.93 into 3. Now we will see how the option pricing is behaving on account of the change in the interest rate with the help of the Black-Scholes model. So we change it to 7% to 10%, and you can see the option price becomes 532.27. So which value I have listed over here. So over here also you can see there is a small approximation error only. So you can see this one table for a small change in the underlying instrument price by 10 rupees and a large change in the underlying instrument by 100 rupees. So you can see in case of the small change, the actual derived value manually with the help of the option breaks and the value which has been determined with the help of the Black-Scholes model is almost same. And there is only a small error in the calculation. Whereas in case in the large value changes, the error increases a bit as compared to the small change. But it gives you an approximate and fair idea that how the option breaks are having an impact on the option prices. So that's it for my side. I hope you have liked this video. In case you have any comments on this Black-Scholes model and the option breaks, you are welcome to give your feedback and comments in the comment box in this video, and I will try to address it in the next video. So this video was a bit technical and it's a bit advanced stage. So in case you are finding it difficult to understand, I would request to you again go to the theoretical part where I have explained all the option grades, and then you can go and see this example where I have explained that how the option prices changes with the change in the option rates for every movement in the underlying instrument. And you can download this Excel as well, and you can do this practice similarly for the put options. Like I have explained only for the call option in this video. So you can do this exercise for the put option. That's it. Thank you.